Welcome to the Friday edition of FSU Weather. I'm student meteorologist Amy Squires.
And I'm student meteorologist Sarah Converse.
Well, today started off cloudy and the clouds just seemed to stick around all day.
It was really gloomy out there. I had a hard time getting out of bed because it was a lot darker out there. So I was like, no, I don't want to get out of bed.
We've also been having this morning fog due
Yes.
to the ground actually being warmer than the upper air.
Yeah.
So it has been very kind of dreary waking up in the mornings.
So then once that cloud cover and the overcast skies left, then the warmth came and it was just, we had the muggy conditions as we have these southerly winds bringing our dew points up into almost close to 70s. So almost like summer dew points, very muggy and warm out there.
I think we hit a high of around 81 today.
And
the high temperature is 83, so we didn't quite get that record,
Yeah.
but it was pretty close.
I know we matched the record on yesterday, so a lot of places in Florida in general have been breaking records or getting flirting close to these records.
Yes.
Yeah, definitely. But I think for now, I'm going to go give us a little sneak peek of today's show. So currently, right now, it's still pretty warm at 76 degrees, mostly cloudy skies, a slight breeze of 9 miles per hour from the southeast, but overall pretty nice out there, but still sitting in that icky, sticky pattern. Satellite radar, nothing going on right now. Just that a little bit of some partly cloudy skies just moving off through and a few showers off into the Perry area. But the big story that we're going to be talking about is this national picture as we have this stationary front that's bringing a lot of moisture and rain into the Tennessee Valley area. We'll talk more about the flooding concerns that we are having there and flood watches. Now the big next upcoming system coming up is this low pressure system off into New Mexico that's going to come into our area into the southeast, bringing up our rain chances on to Sunday and also cooling us down for the next work week. Now for our 3-day forecast, we're going to be still sitting in that warm pattern on Saturday, so definitely if you want to go out to the res, go to the beach, best time to go out, but then rain chances pop back up, cooling us down just a slight bit, but here are our headlines. Warmth coming back, cold front on Sunday, and then we also have our temperatures closer to average, but I'm going to bring us back to the desk to pick our next metro area.
You know, I think the people in Cleveland are pretty jealous over the warm temperatures we are having here, but so we are doing Cleveland today, but would you like to pick our next week's forecast?
Okay. Let's see. Hopefully it's something interesting.
Cleveland's interesting.
Cleveland is interesting. Okay, so Washington, D.C. Metro.
Interesting enough.
Oh, yeah. Going to be sticking into the northeast for a while. I know the groundhog was not right for them up there. Still sitting in those cold temperatures while Florida's like, nah, we want to head on into summer and spring.
But hey, we're looking at our capital, so that'll be a very cool forecast to give. Different area, too.
Yeah, definitely. So tune in for next Friday. We'll have that forecast for you. But I think for now, you're going to go out and do our first local.
Yeah, so we are looking at the high today hit 81 degrees, whereas our average is a nice 69 degrees. So like I was saying before, 83, very close to it, but not quite with that 81 degrees. Current conditions still at around 76 degrees. It is mostly cloudy. That sun was peeking in and out throughout the day. Hopefully we'll see a little bit more sun tomorrow. Currently looking around the Big Bend, you can see it is a little colder by the coast, 69 degrees. They are getting some flow up from the coast in the Gulf right now, whereas up north into Thomasville, 77 degrees. So they are in the 70s still for the remainder of the night into overnight hours. Now looking at our current dew point, it is pretty high in the 60s, high 60s. St. Mark's is 70 degrees. That's pretty sticky outside. You definitely feel the humidity throughout the last few days, and that's due to that dew point being so high. So our wind is coming up from the Gulf. You can see just a light wind though. Tallahassee 9 miles per hour, whereas down by the coast they are looking at a little bit more of a eastern flow. That's with that 7 miles per hour wind. Now our satellite radar is showing it is pretty cloudy outside. Just a few drops of rain on the radar. Whereas looking at this big system to come, this will come by Sunday where the temperatures are going to start to drop and you'll see maybe even some rain on Sunday. Now for the next 24 hours, we're going to see this pretty much the same conditions as what we received today, but hopefully a little bit more sun. Now these clouds will be moving its way through the area for tomorrow, maybe even getting in a little bit of rain to our eastern side of our viewing area. For tonight's forecast, though, looking at 62 for Tallahassee, whereas St. Mark's, Perry, 63, 64, pretty much cloudy throughout the entire Big Bend region for the overnight forecast. For your dog walking forecast, waking up 9 a.m., 67 degrees. Now we do have that chance of getting that morning fog, so it might be better to wait a little bit into the afternoon, 78 degrees by noon and 83 by 3 p.m. So it's going to be very hot in the later half of the day. Tomorrow, looking at 82 degrees for Tallahassee, maybe even getting to 84 near Quincy, Blountstown, and maybe even 85 for Marianna. Looking at the week ahead, though, starting on Saturday, looking at a nice 84, and that's pretty much your high for the rest of the week. Sunday, we have that big chance of rain where that temperature starts to drop, and behind the front, you get those nice sunny skies, 69 degrees, and even looking at those low temperatures back in the 40s, now that is a huge temperature difference, looking at from 84 all the way down to 46, and we may even say in the 70s through the remainder of the week, but we'll see if those rain chances stay in the low percentages. So now I'm going to hand things off to Sarah.
Thanks, Sammy. So zooming out into the southeast, we have just a little bit of everything as we have that stationary front that's situated out into the northern southeast, bringing all that rain and gloomy conditions. But then as you work your way down, just sitting more sunshine and a little bit partly cloudy skies. But look at the difference in these temperatures. Little Rock sitting at 45 degrees, but as you work your way down into South Florida, you're going to sit in those reds and oranges, indicating a warmer temperature, 78 into Tampa, 80 in Orlando, 81 into Key West. Now our current dew points, you can see where that stationary front is located, indication of that dryness behind it and all this moisture in front of it due to these winds bringing up this Gulf moisture and the Atlantic moisture. So that's why it's really gross out there. It's very damp. You're kind of almost swimming through the air around into the southeast because here's these winds bringing a lot of this moisture up there. That is what is making us sticking in this icky, sticky pattern. Now our satellite radar, the big story that we have right now is the stationary front out into our southeast, bringing a lot of rain into the Tennessee Valley area. We'll talk more about those flooding concerns out there as I zoom in. A lot of places seeing pretty much moderate to light rain indicated of those yellows, and then behind me into a little bit into Arkansas, we have a little bit of some lightning count coming up as we have a little bit more heavier showers as they move off through into the Arkansas area. Now for our 24 hours though, we'll have the stationary front kind of sit here for a while, but then that low pressure system off into New Mexico, going to slowly push this system off out, keeping it into that rain factor, but then bringing it into the Tallahassee and the southern southeast area, cooling down our temperatures here finally if you want to have a break from the warmth. Now the thing about this cold front that's a big story about it is this enhanced risk in this red into the Arkansas, Mississippi, and Tennessee Valley area. So 3 out of 5 out of that scale. So could be seeing potentially damaging winds. Cannot rule the possibility of an isolated tornado or two, so definitely have your NOAA radio on hand and always make sure to keep up to date with your local meteorologist, so make sure to stay safe and be weather aware. Now for tonight's forecast though, pretty much all around nice out there, but still sitting in that gloomy temperatures as that stationary front's going to be having a vacation out there in the Tennessee Valley area, 45 in the Little Rock, and then warming down as we get into Montgomery, 64, and then muggy into Tampa as we hit 71 degrees. Now for your Birmingham Gulf forecast, not the best time to go out. It's just going to be rainy and gloomy, but temperature-wise, nice, but you're going to have to fight some showers and some showers out there, so very wet out there, so it might not be the good time to go out. But for tomorrow's forecast, that warmth is going to slowly creep its way into Alabama, into Georgia, so 82 into Tallahassee, 86 in Orlando, but then other areas sitting in that still gloomy pattern of 75 into Jackson, and then a little bit cooler out into Oklahoma City at 58. But for now, I'm going to hand things over to Michael.
Yeah, and thanks, Sarah. We're going to actually transition to our new lab segment. This is actually a pretty interesting thing. I'm the first trying this out. And since the PGA Tour is in Mexico City this week, we're going to talk about how altitude and the weather impacts the golf ball on this golf course. Now, we do have some key points here. The air density higher up in the atmosphere is lower, and the temperature and humidity and altitude, as they increase, that air density decreases. So that's because there's less air molecules in the air. They're further apart in the atmosphere. So because of that lower air density, we have less drag force and resistance, and that results in the ball traveling much further than at sea level. So you notice that when PGA Tour players hit the drives this week in Mexico City, a 300-yard drive is going to go much further because of that elevation. Now, the lower air density also results in less lift. So the ball is going to have a much flatter ball flight. It's going to have it's going to spend more time in the air, and once it lands, it's going to roll a lot. So players, they're going to have trouble gauging their distances. A lot of their distances are going to be going farther than what they think they are. And so distance control is a key this week in Mexico City. So again, this week we're in Club de Golf Chapultepec in Mexico City. You can see the elevation. It is very high up towards Mexico City. The altitude is 7,382 feet in Mexico City. Now the formula we use to figure out how far the ball goes compared to sea level, you multiply the elevation by that decimal. So 7,382 feet in Mexico City, multiply it by that decimal, you get an 8.5% increase. So an average drive on the PGA Tour is around 300 yards. In Mexico City, that drive is going to go 326 yards, so a 26 yards increase just because of the elevation. Now the ball does fly farther in the afternoon than in the morning because it is warmer. The air is less dense due to that warmer air. And the players also have to take into account the downhill shots and the uphill shots from that increase. So a lot of calculations go into effect. So players like Tiger, who are playing in Mexico for the first time this week, had to do these calculations on the fly. Now we're going to send it off to Sarah with the take of what's happening nationally.
Thanks, Michael. Yeah, it's not a Friday show unless we talk about golf at least once. So that was a cool information about that. So here into the national picture, we have just about a little bit of everything as we have cooler temperatures off into Billings. As I remember, it was in the 20s. We're waiting for these graphics to load. And then as we get into Florida, though, there they are, warming up into Florida, the big contrast of 76 degrees here in Tallahassee, so a lot of northerners are probably going to be a bit jealous of us here. The groundhog definitely was wrong for most areas, still sitting in that winter pattern. Now our dew points for most of the area, you can see where the stationary front is at, with most of the nation in that dry conditions, but for the southeast hanging on to that muggy conditions with these southerly winds bringing a lot of this moisture. Now as you've been hearing a lot on the show, here's the setup for the national picture. Stationary front bringing a lot of severe weather going to be coming into Sunday, bringing a lot of rain into the Tennessee Valley area. This system right here is going to be the main factor of that severe weather, going to push its way through, going to slowly start to have cyclogenesis. That means it's going to strengthen as it moves off into the east. That's why we have that enhanced risk out into Arkansas, Tennessee, and Alabama. Here again is this rain. A lot of flooding concerns out there as we have all these flood alerts and watches and warnings out there. As we have in that red. The red is going to be that flood warning, and then the flood watch is in that green, and then that neon green is going to be more of that pawning aerial watch for them. So definitely make sure if you don't drive into flooded areas, turn around and don't drown. So make sure you're aware of these flooding concerns. Now moving on into the Midwest, got a little bit of just everything, some rain and also some snow off into the Dakotas and also into New Mexico as well. And we also have some winter weather advisories hanging on here into the month of February. That dark blue into Wisconsin is going to be that winter storm watch, and this purple is going to be that winter weather advisory, and then that red is the blizzard warning, and also pink is going to be that winter storm warning. So make sure you're taking care of your pets and all your plants and all the famous P's that we talk about a lot on this show with people, pets, plants, and pipes. So make sure you're staying warm out there. We'll be sending you warm vibes from here into Florida. Now in the Pacific Northwest, going to be seeing some rain and some snow as it pushes its way through into Washington. You can see where that line starts over there, and that's pretty cool over there. So sitting in that rain and snowy pattern, this futurecast is going to show the stationary front going to hang around here, but then this low pressure system is going to push its way through. You can see it kind of strengthening as we move into Friday and into Saturday, starting to form a little line of some storms and also some snow concerns, as you saw in those winter weather advisories, as we get into Saturday, and it's going to push its way through into Sunday here into Tallahassee, bringing us some relief from these warmer temperatures, but also bringing, as I said, that enhanced risk of some severe weather. Now for tonight's forecast, going to be seeing cold around in most of the Midwest and Northwest areas, but then pretty nice as we get down into the Southeast. 51 in Memphis, 71 in New Orleans, Billings at 12 degrees. Whew, make sure you stay warm up there. Now for tomorrow's forecast, the same picture again. Cold up into the northern areas, a little bit warm and pleasant spring-like temperatures, and then Florida sitting in that warm pattern. And here's this going to be the system. Most of the area is going to be sitting cold, and then other areas like Florida and California sitting a little bit warmer here as well. But for now, I'm going to send things over to Sammy.
All right, thank you so much, Sarah. So our city of the week is Cleveland. So we are looking at these temperatures of around 31 in Cleveland. Akron is actually nice and warmer with a 39-degree temperature. These temperatures are going to start to warm up as of tomorrow, though. Our dew points are pretty cold right now, 26 degrees for Cleveland. Pretty similar around the lake of 28 in Lorain, 24 over in Sandusky. That is very dry, and that's what you get in winter in Ohio. Now, looking at the wind, you can see it is primarily coming from the northeast. It starts to shift with this front that is actually going to be making its way through, and you'll actually get higher winds. Now, looking at our satellite and radar up to right now, you can see it is very cloudy outside. These clouds have been sticking around throughout the day. We're not quite done with them just yet. So there is actually a high pressure system that is over our region right now. But as you can see, all of this rain is going to start to make its way up. And that's what's going to bring the warmer temperatures, because this is a warm front. Now, after that comes, though, this cold front is actually going to dump some mixed rain and snow into our region for the weekend to come, though. So for the next 24 hours, you could expect some cloudy conditions to persist throughout our region. By Saturday morning, the winds do get stronger, and maybe some rain starts to make its way through our region. For tonight's forecast, though, looking at 30 degrees, whereas Lorain is starting to dip into the 20s, 27, Wellington, 28 degrees. Expect these cloudy conditions to persist overnight and into tomorrow as well. 47 degrees for Cleveland, 49 for Akron, so close to reaching that 50-degree mark. So this is due to that warm front that will be pushing its way through tomorrow, keeping these temperatures nice in the 40s. But now Michael is going to give us a look back into Florida.
Yeah, let's go back to more of a warmer type of state. Yes, that is the state of Florida. And you see that temperatures once again are warm here in the Sunshine State. 80s down towards the peninsula, 82 in Gainesville, 80 in Orlando, 81 in Fort Myers. Here in Tallahassee, 76, and once again, the cool spot is Pensacola with some foggy conditions at 68 degrees. Everyone's dew points well into the 60s, close to the 70-degree mark. The one exception, Fort Myers, with the dew point of 60. That feels pretty nice right now. But these are a lot of tropical dew points, mainly a precursor to what it will feel like in summer. So once we get that cold front we've been talking about moving through much of the state, these dew points will eventually drop. Now, the reason why the dew points are higher, winds are coming out from the Gulf and the Atlantic. Lots of moisture spewing out of the Gulf and the Atlantic with these little, not very breezy, with the one exception down towards Key West at 13 miles per hour. But again, it's a very sticky atmosphere out there. However, most of the Sunshine State is clear in terms of cloud cover. Just a few spotty showers out towards the Nature Coast, and then up towards the Panhandle. Just been having this persistent cloud cover the entire day. That's why Tallahassee didn't get their record high of 83 today, fell 2 degrees short, just because that cloud cover just couldn't burn off quickly enough. But as we go into tonight, temperature is going to be well into the 60s, with 62 here in Tallahassee, 65 in the Funiac Springs. So another warm, muggy night out there. For north central Florida, for the Jacksonville and the First Coast, you see mostly clear skies with a few showers, again, out towards the Nature Coast. But as we go into tomorrow and tonight, expect a similar story where you get the muggy conditions overnight with temperatures in the low to mid 60s. And then out towards South Florida, you see a little bit of showers offshore of Miami. Those should be a little bit of an impact, but not too much. But as we go into tonight, very muggy night with 73 degrees in Jupiter, 74 in Fort Lauderdale. So temperatures well into the 70s overnight. Now, as we go into the overnight hours into tomorrow, notice how this easterly and southerly wind continues to provide this warmth and humidity to the Sunshine State, but clouds begin to increase in the Panhandle ahead of that next frontal system you see out there. And then maybe a few of these spotty sea breeze showers and thunderstorms maybe out towards the peninsula. But as we go into tomorrow, notice how the temperatures are once again close to record levels. And it is going to be a very warm one out there, especially in the peninsula. But temperatures might getting close to 90 degrees in Tampa and Fort Myers possibly if you get enough sunshine. But for now, I'm going to send off to the desk with Sammy, and we're going to talk about some of the events happening at Florida State this weekend.
Yeah, so one of the major events going on is actually not in Florida State. It's in North Carolina.
Big game on Saturday at North Carolina. And we're going to take a look at that forecast right now. Yes, we are talking about FSU versus UNC. It's going to be a big game out there. UNC is ranked number 8. They came off a huge win at Duke on Wednesday night. A huge win. But for us, Florida State, we're on an 8-game winning streak.
Yeah, so exciting stuff. I mean, we are ranked 16, so let's see if we could. If we won, it would be great for us.
Yeah, I think our graphics are taking a while there, but it's going to be a very showery day out towards Chapel Hill. Temperatures only in the mid 40s. There you go, 43
Perfect.
degrees with tip off at 3:45.
Yeah, so looking at that rain, you know, it's a good thing they are inside.
Yeah. Now we're going to move on to back home here in Tallahassee. The FSU golf team, the men's golf team, is at Golden Eagle Country Club north of I-10 for Seminole Intercollegiate. Good Saturday, not good Sunday.
Exactly. So we are looking at 84 for tomorrow. It will be very hot, so if you are going to watch or if you're in it, I mean, make sure you load up on that sunscreen.
Yeah.
Other events, we do have beach volleyball. It's the opening weekend.
Yep, foggy morning, as we've been saying the last few segments, but then we're warming up quickly into the 80s once again.
And we also have our invitational this weekend, 78 degrees, warming up into the 80s.
Yeah, baseball and softball is at home this weekend, similar conditions. And finally, Mexico Championship. We talked about this in our lab. Good Saturday, cold front moves through on Sunday with that 50% chance of rain. I
mean, can you believe we are actually warmer than Mexico right now?
It's incredible. And Mexico seems much more nicer than compared to LA yesterday. Last week it was very cold out there.
Yeah, but for now, Sarah is going to give us a look at the local 2.
Thanks, guys. So right now we have our FSU weather cam. Beautiful setup right now, but still sitting in that mostly cloudy sky. So a little bit, you can't really see that sunset very well, but pretty nice setup though with these nice cumulus, puffy, cotton-like ball-like clouds. Current conditions right now still sitting pretty warm at 76 degrees, mostly cloudy skies, just a slight breeze at 9 miles per hour coming out from the southeast. So overall, a very nice night, but a bit on the warm and muggier side. But for all around the Big Bend area, sitting pretty much in those high 70s, 77 in a Bainbridge, Quincy at 75, a little bit colder at Apalachicola at 69, as they are at the coast, seeing those nice southerly winds, cooling them down just a bit. But unfortunately, though, dew points, though, not helping out on these dew points. That's what's bringing all these muggy conditions out here, especially down in the coast. 70 in a St. Mark, 68 in a Tallahassee. So definitely feeling like you're just swimming through the air. It's very muggy and moist out there. Ladies, your hair is probably feeling it as you're going out there. Here's those winds coming out mostly from the south, bringing a lot of this moisture out there. That's why we are in this icky, sticky pattern. But here's our satellite and radar. Nothing going on right now, just that cloud cover pushing its way through. But as I move out into this national picture, here's that big story as we've been all talking about on this show. This is stationary front right here, not really going to bring any cooler temperatures to us, just all that rain. But that low pressure system out into New Mexico is going to be the big factor, what's going to be pushing its way through, bringing us some rain onto Sunday and also cooling down our temperatures, giving us a bit of a break of these warmer, higher average temperatures here. Now our futurecast is going to be hanging on to that cloud cover here and there for the evening, so we're going out and about on the town, going to be expecting that cloud cover and also some fog into the early morning time. So definitely if you're going out and about, make sure you're being prepared as you're going out in this fog. Hopefully we'll have that clear conditions as we get into Saturday, maybe passing a few passing clouds, and then also some rain over into the Valdosta area, maybe dodge a few scattered showers and storms, but overall going to be a really nice night. Definitely go out onto the res or go to the beach, but always make sure to have that sunscreen on hand as the UV index is extremely high. Now for tonight, going to be sitting at 64 degrees, and then fog will be developing into the overnight hours. And then for tomorrow, warming up to 84 degrees, so almost into those mid 80s, so very warm out there. Make sure you're always staying hydrated and make sure to always reapply that sunscreen. Pretty nice out there at 11 miles per hour. We also have your Gulf forecast here, so very warm conditions as well, 64, and then warming up to 83 degrees on to 3 p.m. And then your beach forecast, I would highly recommend going out there. Very warm, nice out there, really refreshing at 67 degrees. But of course, as I said, UV index is at a high. Now really quickly, going to wrap up this 7-day forecast. Going to hang on to those warm conditions, and then Sunday, going to see that rain chance pop back up, but lowering down our rain chances, but sitting in that muggy pattern as we get into the next work week. But for now, I'm going to send things over back to the desk.
Sarah, this is what I call a beautiful weekend. I mean, we have Saturday nice and sunny in the warm 70s, and Sunday you could study indoors.
Yeah, it's a good weekend where you can take advantage of the Saturday and then catch up on some things on Sunday for sure.
Exactly.
Yeah, and a lot of events going on this weekend. There was not enough time to get through all the events. So again, we have baseball, softball, beach volleyball, golf. Everything.
I mean, there's so much to do outdoors this weekend. Beach volleyball, Saturday they're playing Tulane, California in the afternoon. Sunday they are playing as well, hopefully weather permitting, but South Carolina at 3:15 and Tampa at 5 p.m.
Yeah, softball, they're playing Stanford on Saturday and Sunday and Lipscomb, so a lot of stuff going on for all of our Seminoles teams. A lot of them are ranked. Actually, all of them are ranked, as I heard the other day. So
our sports teams are dominating this spring. So it's going to be a nice day on Saturday, but you know, Sunday, not so much. By Monday, it will be a beautiful sunny day.
Yeah, unfortunately, I wish the warmer temperatures would stay. But don't forget to follow us on Twitter, twitter.com/FSU Weather.
And like us on Facebook for more updates.
And we are also live on YouTube every weeknight. And you can also watch our old shows on there.
Yeah, and make sure you follow us on Instagram as well. Share your photos with us. We love to see it.
Yep, so no matter how you want to spend your weekend, either staying indoors and watching the UNC game or enjoying the 80-degree weather, which will be for one more day tomorrow. I'm student meteorologist Michael Lennon.
And I'm student meteorologist Sammy Squires. Have a great weekend.